We didn't get a chance to go over some of the blood issues and different things in the water. And I want to take just a brief moment to walk you through a couple bit of pipe issues as well as blood issues because they directly affect one another. So let me do a screen share for you. Hold that pose. All right, got too many screens open here. And let's see, here we go. All right. All right, I wanted to show you here what pipes look like when they come in to your house. It's everywhere. It's kind of a disgusting thought that kind of like a blocked artery, when the pipes get so full of nastiness like this, the water company has to come in and cut out a section of that piping in order to get clear water flow to, not clear water, but water flow to go through. Clear water is not their main objective. That is definitely a plus. I have no idea what that is up there, but it does not look like peanut butter and jelly to me. That's got to be something severely nasty. But there's some just nasty toxins and leads and everything else that are getting into the water. They don't change the pipes on the whole city every 5 years. They wait until it blocks full of nonsense before they do that. So I ask people not to drink treated or untreated water. And I also want to make sure they understand that what is in their water is going to get into their blood, which becomes their tissues and organs, like we talked about earlier. So here's some unhealthy blood conditions that we see, everything from parasites, overcalcification. Overcalcification is the first one, then parasites, inflammation, more parasites, different things like that. This one here in particular, those white puddles in the middle are indicative of somebody who's been diagnosed with colon cancer issues. And so we want to remove that. If there was only one dot, it would be like a reproductive organ. But this is also a testing that I do for people long distance with dry blood. If they're able to come to San Antonio like you would be, living so close, you'd be able to also see and view your live blood. We offer the alkaline antioxidant drinking system. It's got that 4.2 gallon tank. The spigot, I don't like that spigot that comes with it, so we do upgrade and match one that goes to the faucet, whether it's brushed nickel or oil rubbed or whatever the case may be. We also have the whole house toxin reduction tank that removes 116 toxins for overall health, stuff that other companies leave in the water. And of course, we have the water softeners that protect your pipes and appliances. And as I mentioned earlier, it can also reduce the health risk of kidney stones from the overcalcification that gets into the cooking and consumption water. So that being said, we also have the stainless steel portable unit that can hold up to a 4 gallon tank. We can do a smaller unit that holds only a 2 gallon tank, but great for emergency preparedness, RVs, apartments, and rentals. It's usually hooked up. Whenever there's a hose, we can hook up this unit. Okay. All right. So that's that for the water. And I wanted to also, if I can stop that, get it to go down. I also wanted to show you one more video. And I got to get this one to go away first. How do I get it to go away? Hold on a second. Get it to go right this way. Come on. Sorry. And stop. And get rid of that one. I hate being on here where it doesn't let you access as easy as you could. So now I want to get over here to share and do a file share over here on the desktop. There we go. This is a client's blood that is probably some of the worst that I've ever filmed, but he had a blood clot from his ankle to his groin. And you can see this long casing of a parasite here that just goes for screen after screen after screen. And huge, huge clots in the blood, crystallization. We call these fibrous thallus, which is a kind of like a city of garbage where the white blood cells go to die. They can cause huge clots, but he had an actual blood clot from his ankle to his groin, and he was part of the VA system and wasn't able to even get in to get a follow-up ultrasound for like 3 months at a time. It's like every morning he woke up wondering if he was dead or alive, and would have to check with his girlfriend to see if he was breathing. So it was really bad. I mean, there's some just nasty stuff in here, but I want to get over to the dry blood and show you also. Oh, look at that. You had one good cell or semi-good cell over here. But nasty. And the dry blood shows so much inflammation when we get over to that. We get there's some infection crystals there. The white blood cell was actually moving, but it's got a lot of work to do. So here we get into the dry blood. It should be red and black lines, none of this white stuff and none of these liver markers here and here, and inflammation down here, inflammation here. The white puddles, again, none of those white specks belong there. The little teeny tiny ones are adrenal stresses, inflammation, different things like that. Lots of liver markers, parasites. That was parasite up here and here. More liver markers, calcification and parasitic markers. But as we go through it, look at this. This is just like somebody reached up and squoze his heart. I actually sent him to the lab to get a CRP test, a C-reactive protein test to measure the level of inflammation in his chest cavity for his heart and lungs to see what his risk of having a heart attack might be. It was so bad. So very not good water, or excuse me, not water, not very good blood. So over here, if we go over here to his follow-up about, 6 months or so later, look how beautiful this blood is. And this is from drinking the alkaline antioxidant water, our alkaline antioxidant drinking water. Every 2 hours, he had about 16 ounces that he was drinking. White blood cells look big. Some of these are still inflamed. He's got some red blood cells that are bigger than they should be. Still got some parasitic issues, but way better than what we just saw. I'm going to go, there's another parasite there. Way, way better than what we saw before. It was just remarkable and a testimony to him of how eating a whole food plant-based diet and especially drinking the water and rinsing the inside. One of the things that I didn't get to tell you is that regular water is 20 microclusters in size and blood cells are only 7 micron in diameter. That means it's like softballs hitting a chain link fence, whereas the water that we make is only 5 microclusters, which is like throwing a handful of blueberries through the chain link fence, which means every cell gets properly hydrated, every cell gets all the toxins neutralized and the acids flushed. So white blood cells moving along right there. And here we are back into the dry blood. Look how beautiful that is. The white spots are down to a minimum, more red and black going on there, less liver markers than we saw before. Excuse me. And long parasite still. We didn't quite have a perfect screen, but he still had a pretty good sized parasite in there like we looked at before in the live blood. And it just a huge turnaround. He's even saying hi here, it says. But I want to show you one last one. What happens when people get well? What's the first thing that happens? What's the first thing that happens when people get well and they think, oh, I fixed it? They tend to go back to their bad habits thinking, oh, I'm cured. I can go back to eating garbage again, drinking bad, coffee, alcohol, things that destroy the blood cells, which then in turn destroy the tissue and organs that are being formed. And so he came back again for a follow-up a few months later. Let me go over here, back again. And he had gone back to his old eating habits. And look what happened to the blood again. Again, back almost to the same, if not worse than we had before, larger infections, crystals, you name it. That's yellow in there is like environmental toxins. And look at the amount of liver markers. They look like these little black asterisks all over the place. The inflammation is back again as well. So this finally got his full attention. I thought I had it with the first improvement, but no, he had to go back and be a little silly. But I tell you, he is my poster child, and he will tell everybody how incredible he not only feels, but his whole entire ability to function has improved so tremendously. So I just wanted to show that to you. That's something I want you to come into the clinic and offer to you. Just a couple more brief examples really quick. right here. I want to go over to the full presentation. And let you see just a couple of examples here. Between the breast cancer and other things, this is a list of all the goodies that I've gotten rid of in my experience so far, and a ton of weight. I've lost over 60 pounds, got more to go, but it comes off slow and steady, and I'm very comfortable with that. And my blood work is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so here we go with what blood should look like: black and red, round and smooth. And this is a woman that was 70 years old and was going into hospice when I met her. And she was astounded. I mean, she had a protein cancer of the blood, which means she had no black lines in her dry blood sample. It's just all white. And if you were to stretch that out, you'd see that it's almost raised up, kind of like spackle on the wall. And after just 2 weeks, look how it improved after just 2 weeks. The red blood cells and then the dry blood, lots of black and red there. So amazing, right? We'll put that up there again real quick. This is a gentleman, part of a study I did in 2011 with Overeaters Anonymous. Here's his blood, and all he changed was the water. And 7 days later, how it had cleaned it up, broken it up a little bit so it could carry oxygen more effectively, and so on and so forth. This gentleman here had protein linkage here. He had the spike proteins here, which I've been filming forever. And ever since the microscope was invented in the 1500s, we've been looking at spike proteins. This is what they actually look like, and they're caused by acid and sugar high content diets. You know, in the media these last few years with COVID, they were showing these, you know, styrofoam models with, you know, golf tees stuck in it as an illustration. Why didn't they just call me up? I would have showed them what one really looks like. And they've always been there for people that eat high concentration of acid and sugar type diets. The polymerized protein petals here that we saw earlier, like I said, if there was one, it would be reproductive. The multiple is indicative of somebody who is clinically diagnosed with colon cancers. This is that same person, same 58-year-old man. A month later, all of his red blood cells are looking way better. There's still some yeast in the background. There's some blur from the microscope itself. The dry blood has cleaned up completely. There was no polymerized protein petals there. Still working on getting some additional black fibrin strands in between. This is all spike proteins here from a gentleman consuming nothing but Mountain Dew during finals at college. These little black spots here are secondhand smoke in a 1-year-old 3 weeks after visiting grandma and grandpa. Tobacco can leave big patches and crystals in there that are black that can take up the whole screen. We also have sugar crystallization around the outside edge. You name it. Parasites, we'll look for all of these things. So then I don't just leave you hanging. I teach you what foods to eat to be able to get rid of some of this nonsense. So I hope that helps. And let me get that down there. And I'll let you get back to your day. But I just wanted to share that with you so that you could have something to compare. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye now.